Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 139 of my Gateway Experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. The purpose of these videos is to document our journey through the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. I like to call a Gateway Experience a scientific, repeatable process of self discovery, self exploration, and ultimately self mastery or self actualization. It consists of a total of 36 tapes divided into 6 waves. The first wave is called Discovery, then Threshold, then Freedom, then Exploring, then Adventure, and then Odyssey in order. Okay, so from the first to the sixth wave, we are currently on the third wave, and we are on the fourth tape of that wave called the Five Questions tape. The most important 5 questions you might ever get. Okay, so today was the sixth day doing this tape. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, go ahead and check those out. That way you can see where we started and where we are today at 9:08 a.m. on January 10th, 2023. That is today's date. And I woke up this morning at 7 a.m., not 5 a.m. as usual. But the good news is that we were able to wake up at 5 a.m. Let me see how many days in a row. Oh, it wasn't nearly as many as I thought. Well, no, actually it was. It was one, two, okay, three, four, five, six, seven, seven. 7 days in a row, we went ahead and woke up at 5 a.m. And this morning we woke up at 7. So that's a whole week. And we're going to go back to that. Okay. We're getting closer and closer as the seasons are shifting. Okay. We're shifting. We're still in winter. We're going to be heading, we're not really heading deeper into winter. We're going to be heading into spring. Okay. Because the winter solstice already happened. Okay. So we're not going to be going into further into darkness. We're going into the light now. We're going into more sunlight, and it's just getting better and better. So it's getting easier and easier to wake up earlier and earlier. So you're going to see me waking up at 5. You're going to see me waking up at 4:30. You're going to see me waking up even earlier, and then staying up later as well. That's just what happens as we head into the spring and summer, and then eventually the summer will end, and we will be back in fall, winter times. But we're not there yet, so I'm looking forward to this journey ahead of us. I'm looking forward to finishing these tapes here and doing this tape for the sixth time. It was fun. Okay, it's nice. It's a huge reminder. Okay, how did this? I wonder how did this end up in this dog's crate? I don't know, but he did chew it, I think, or something. Yeah. I need these. This is what I use. I put these on, bam. I go into the other world of the Gateway Experience. It's a great world, okay? You can see I've got my hair down today, and it's a great world. And I've already kind of addressed the questions, I've posed them for you, talked about my limitations, and really the biggest realization today that I made by walking this path is, man, these things are all cut up. I'm getting distracted. Don't get distracted. But even if you do get distracted, it's okay. That's what I really reminded myself in this path, because I talked about before the fear of failure. If you remind yourself of your purpose, okay, and you remind yourself the reason why you even came through this physical existence, and then you start thinking about the actions that you can take to make sure that that happens, that's not a bad thing if you haven't been doing it. It's a great thing because it's a reminder. Okay, so it's okay to mess up, is what I'm saying. It's okay to get distracted. That's what I'm saying. It's okay to make mistakes. You know, maybe my parents didn't encourage me that way. Maybe that's something that happened to me in my childhood, where my upbringing was like, hey, if you mess up, that means that you're not good enough, and not being good enough means death. That's basically it. because I come from a third world country, you know? So it's like we won't ever get out of this country. We will never be able to escape any kind of slavery. We will always be stuck in this if we don't do something better. That's great and all, but I think the framework is completely wrong. I think maybe it's because of their environment, because of my because I came to the United States when I was 10 years old, so it was the environment that I grew up in. Maybe it's because of their environment that they grew up in that they were like, hey, I don't want to succumb to this environment. I need to really fight and fight and fight. So they became fighters. But they forgot that they shouldn't be fighting their future. They just kept fighting their future, which was me. Okay, so they were fighting, exactly, right? So the kids, it's like, hey, don't let them, if they're going to make the wrong decision. So you got to make sure that you stifle their dreams and make sure that the decision that they make is the one that you have come up for them, because it's like, hey, that is me. I have already figured it out. I've been alive way longer. I know how this world works. Just don't do what you want to do. Do what I want you to do. Okay, so maybe like that makes sense, but that's where and I wouldn't even speak about this in a public format to put it up on YouTube before I started this gateway experience. There's no way. I might even have emotions as the words come out of my mouth, but I don't feel that way anymore. I feel grateful. I feel grateful for all the things that I've been given. And maybe subconsciously to an extent, I felt like, hey, if I make a mistake, because emotionally maybe I was programmed that way, that it's a big deal if you make a mistake, you know. But maybe it's not such a big deal. Maybe it's actually just a step on the journey. Maybe it's actually a lesson that you have to learn. Maybe you need to make the mistake to make sure that you can actually become better. And now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn from other people's mistakes, but there should not be anybody telling you like, hey, what you're doing is the wrong way to do it, unless they actually know that it is, right? But like that's the thing, that a lot of the times is like the imagination of like, hey, I tried that and I failed, so, or I've heard of people that tried that and failed. Well, now all of a sudden we're not talking about reality, we're talking about the imagination of fear, okay, which is the contracting force. So we don't want to contract, we want to expand, we want to keep growing, we want to grow our consciousness, we're going to grow in consciousness together, okay? So that's what I got to say about that. And I just came to that realization today about this. It's like, dang, man, it just hit me like a ton of bricks thanks to doing these videos. It's like, hey, maybe that's why you're maybe afraid of even being reminded of your purpose, because if you're reminded of your purpose, the reason why you're here, then if you're not following that purpose and you make a mistake along the way, then all of a sudden you're falling short, and all of a sudden, you know, there's going to be pain there. So might as well avoid the pain by not even being reminded. Well, no, actually, the reminder is a good thing. The reminder is, hey, this is why you're here. Remember, it's okay where you've been going. Just come back and stay on track. Just come back on track. That's basically it, right? So I think that that's really important. I think that's a very important dynamic of this whole thing, and it's why a lot of people find themselves in situations that they find themselves today. So that's all I'm going to say for this video. And if you want to communicate with me, let me know in the comments down below, because until next time, I will see you guys soon.